just stay here and be quiet until she goes away.
See, that's the problem. That's what I'm mad about. I missed that one figment. Can I go back? Am I not able to do that again?
Was the song really that bad?
Oh, okay, good. I was about to be so mad.
What's going on here?
This was my stupid plan to defeat Maligula.
How do you miss one, bro?
You okay?
So far.
Oh, I didn't know I could move. I'm not supposed to do that? I thought it wanted me to go into it.
You okay?
So far.
What the hell am I supposed to do? Probably. Oh, they want me to walk away.
I let them all down with my ridiculous...
Oh, that was weird as hell. I'm so confused right now.
I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so do I just gotta interact with these? Yeah, this game actually seems to be enjoyable to 100%.
I'm starting to enjoy it now.
I thought it was enjoyable in Jak 1, but Jak 2 and 3, yeah, I had like absolutely no interest in getting all those orbs. Like, like they made it like so unenjoyable in those games. That's just me though. I don't know if it's just me who feels really strongly, but like I feel like some games really make me want 100%, and other games just suck so bad. Yo, what's up, Practice? Oh, my newest power. I forgot about that. What is my newest power? It's been a while. Hold up. Oh, the time bubble. Oh!
I let them all down with
What do I have that set to? L1? Okay. Yo, what's up, Practice? Hopefully you're doing well, though. Appreciate you coming in.
Why didn't they come back for me?
You okay?
So far.
You were going to act her to death?
I did a monologue about Lucy's life and what she meant to us, to try and bring her back. I was useless that day.
You think you were useless that day? I tried to stop her with a motivational speech.
Actually, Fulbert, you distracted her long enough that I was able to recruit some local animals to help. Which also didn't work.
We all brought what we had to the battle. The main thing was, your beautiful performance did bring out the old Lucy. Just for a bit.
It reminded us that she was in there.
So, Maligula used to be your friend? And her name was Lucy? Was she the 7th member of the Psychic Six, Lucretia Mux, but she went bad somehow and then you all had to go fight your friend?
I liked not remembering stuff.
I like not remembering stuff. Okay. Nah, bro, we gotta make you remember everything now so we can get the frick out of here. I've been stuck in here and I got all this other stuff I need to do. But yeah, I guess for anyone who might have come from Twitter or something like that, I'll get into like the whole parents thing pretty soon so that we're not spending too much time on this. Although I do encourage you to hang out for the game because the game is really good.
You guys!
And
I'm right here! Where are you going?
I try to be entertaining.
Why did you all abandon me for 1,000 years?
20.
Maybe in your world? Did they even look for me? Did they all forget I existed?
We did look for your full bear.
But my stupid hyperhyglaciator there, which we brought to freeze Maligula, well,
It worked as designed, Otto. But you were so deep in that frozen lake we couldn't find you.
no matter how much we duck.
I know you're just speculating here, Helmet. I think you're probably right.
Helmet.
But I sent you my brain, Ford. Didn't you find it?
I don't know.
Ford must have brought your brain back because I found it in Otto's lab. But he must have lost that memory when his mind was shattered in the battle.
My brain was shattered?
Well, come on. It was a little cracked to begin with.
Okay. Relatable. Okay, so after these beautiful cutscenes, we can do it.
I saw this time. I'll bet I look amazing.
Almost done.
I'm starting to enjoy it now.
We're helping this person get their memories back and their understanding
This is
of
where
everything.
That monster drowned my Bobby. Because
They
I
were very
failed.
empty before we helped them.
Because my stupid plan couldn't save him.
No, you saved me. You threw yourself into the path of danger, sacrificing yourself to save me.
Aww.
Rather dramatically, I might add.
Well, I mean, thank you.
So, I'm not dead. I'm out there somewhere waiting for you to come back to me.
I'm coming to you right now. I swear.
Oh.
Better hurry. You know how I get.
Memories, my boy. Just a show we
Yeah,
put
I
on
feel like it
inside
leaves a
our
taste in my
heads.
mouth.
Sometimes the first draft of the script stinks. Thanks for helping me with the rewrites. Now let's go give the people what they want.
Yay! My booty!
Everybody stand back.
We're having some
Remember,
booty eye
this
for
is
dinner
our
tonight.
Friend, Lucy. She's going through a tough time. I think she might just need someone to listen to her.
Save your sympathy for your strawberries, Anato.
Maligula. This is the big bad person in this game so far. I never watch YouTube poops. I don't stay with the in stuff, you know, the in crowd. I just do me, you know, and I've been being a nerd lately, and I was spending time with my parents. I wasn't doing nothing online, so if this is a new YouTube poop or something you're referencing, I don't know it. Yo, we're back in the same area again. Okay, hold up, y'all. Chill out. Chill out. Is there a chance that that item is in, like, that one figment is here? Or is it already over? Did I frick it? Oh no, everything's blocked. No, I can't go back and look. Frick. Wait, can I cheat? Can I just, like, pretend she's not there real quick? Ah, dang it. Yeah, it won't let me. Frick. Okay. Alright. I missed one. Oh, well. Oh, I gotta go in their heads. Is that what I gotta do? Alright, hold up. Yeah, so this game's really cool. If you don't know anything about this game, the series is called Psychonauts. The first game is really dope, and this is the second game. Basically what's going on is it's like a mental health, it's a game that focuses on mental health, mental illness, and all that, but it has like a little comedic hit on, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a comedic or comedy based approach to it, and it's really, I don't know, I'm really a big fan of it. So like right now, I have psychic abilities, and I'm able to go inside their minds, I'm assuming, and, you know, see what's going on. This guy's brain was having a sensory overload, so that's why everything is like really colored and extravagant and like overdone. What am I supposed to do, though? That's what I'm trying to figure
I got
out.
her. I think.
Am I supposed to go inside?
Quick, the audience is getting bored.
Okay, I'm not 100% sure.
This gal's a tough one.
That symbol is there, so I'm assuming I'm supposed to go into their brains. Let's see what happens if I go into all of them. He's still... Oh my god, that's still sensory overload. But yeah, that's like their signal of like sensory overload. Like all these colors and everything just happening all at once.
Can't hold her forever.
It was actually making my computer go into sensory overload. And then all of their friends were like different parts of the body. So we have the ear, ear, eye, hand, nose. Wait, who are you again? Oh, mouth. Mouth. My bad. I almost forgot.
Hurry,
I might be using the wrong psychic ability here. Yeah, mouth. Look at that. That's so cute.
This could be our only chance.
I'm trying to see if there's something I need to do, because this is the ability I got here is this time ability. I'm wondering if that's what I'm supposed to be using, but I'm not sure. A classic YouTube poop. Can I do that with her? Oh, what the? I can? I can't believe it let me do that. Okay, so is this not what I'm supposed to do? Maybe it's not. But yeah, you use your psychic abilities to help people get, overcome or accept or deal with their mental illnesses and their mental health struggles and things like that. And I think it's a really cool way to go about it. Which one is it? Like, would I know it if you just said the words? Okay, I'm really...
I just need to focus a little longer with my clairvoyance.
Can't hold her forever, kid.
Can't hold it forever, kid. We got hands. You're saying I can't hold it forever, but what are you talking about?
Almost had it. I just need to focus a little longer with my clairvoyance.
The audience is getting
bored. He's saying that because... Oh, he's saying that because I keep canceling it.
Hurry,
Oh, I did that one already. Maybe I gotta do all of them. Who did I not do? I need to do you.
I just need to focus a little longer with my clairvoyance.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, but that looks sus as hell.
Take her out.
Take her out.
Can't hold her
Okay, so maybe clairvoyance isn't what I'm supposed to use, but that's usually what that symbol means.
What are you waiting for?
Just hit her?
I don't want to use the thought channel.
Wait, are you serious? All I have to do is hit her? I thought I was supposed to do... I thought I was supposed to use like one of these abilities. Why would I just punch her? That's messed up. Alright, let me fix that, because I like having levitation on my L2.
Make a really loud sound.
Are you sure I have to just hit her? That's kind of messed up, bro. Are you freaking serious? I thought I was supposed to go into their mind and, like, manipulate or something. Physical violence wasn't the answer I was expecting, alright?
Do it again.
Well, she did. She is evil, yeah. But I just thought we were gonna do something. I thought that those images were saying that we're gonna be doing something mentally to control her, or beat her. But yeah, this is the big bad lady of the game, but we're only facing her in this character's mind, the Psy King. So I don't think that counts. Well, let me actually. I got taken away. I was wondering what would happen. I would have died if it wasn't a cutscene. I was probably supposed to like side blast it.
But not to worry. I've got your brain, and I'm going to keep it safe back at HQ and come back for the rest of you. Just after I figure out what to do with Lucy.
Okay, I know you won't forget about me.
I don't think anybody's going to forget about you after that performance. In fact, I think they're demanding an encore.
Psy-King! 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 Psy-King!
No, I haven't played Jazz Punk. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna be real with you. Ah. So yeah, right now we're in the brain of Psy King, and we just helped them overcome their sensory overload and their memory loss, and connected a bunch of things for them. So now, when we come out of their brain, we put this person's brain inside of another character, which is kind of sus, but we did. So now that when we're coming out, that character should be more stable. Because they were definitely going through a lot. They were definitely struggling beforehand. I'm down to stream anything. Like I said, if you want to DM me anything you think is a good suggestion, I'm open to anything at this point.
Who am I again?
Nick John Smith.
Nick John Smith, senior
That's the person who has the
mailroom
brain.
staff.
Welcome, Helmut Fullbear, deceased.
About time they sent me an assistant.
Ford's gonna be so excited when he figures out who you really are, Agent Fullbear. Everybody is.
Kid, I owed you one, and now we're square. But I'm not ready to face Cruller. Not until I talk to Bob.
But...
Lots of baggage to unpack. You wouldn't understand. But please, tell no one of my return.
But...
I'll see you at curtain call.
Okay.
Oh, somebody shut that door before the wind blows all my letters away.
All right, awesome. Okay, so the bigger story here is that we're trying to help this character get themselves all together, because their brain or their mind is splattered all the way around in different places, and we're trying to help them figure their life out, get themselves back together. That's what we're doing with that. Honestly, if my job situation goes well, I'll be gifting to y'all. Like, if I get through this, I would like to be able to give back to y'all in some meaningful way. As long as after I get through it, I wasn't completely depleted of all finances. All right, so I could talk to him, but I was thinking I wanted to like do everybody's. So here we are, repairing Ford's shattered mind. So Ford's mind is all over the place, and it's showing itself as different versions of him in different places. So what we just did there is reintegrate mail clerk Ford. So we had to go into that. We had to find that person a brain. Then we had to go in there and fix that person's mind. Then, now that we fixed that, we can reintegrate. But I don't want to reintegrate yet because I don't know. I mean, maybe I should. But yeah, the next thing we did was show that we got a lead car for the bowling Ford character. So there's a Ford in the barber shop, there's a Ford in the bowling alley, and then this one was the mail clerk Ford. So that's basically what we're doing here, trying to fix this guy's brain because that dude is a really good psychonaut, hence the name. And we need his help given the circumstances that are going on with that Maligula character and all that. Because she's trying to make a comeback. And we gotta not have that happen. That's basically what's going on. Okay, okay, I wanted to go to the bowling thing. It's funny because we just went bowling, so now it feels like, now it's really interesting. But I wanted to come in here and see if they actually let you bowl. Would they?
Open up!
Look a little young for the senior league,
I keep all my gray hidden under the helmet.
Good tip.
Okay, so now we can explore this area.
Card!
And there's a lot of good stuff in here. Ooh, we almost got all the cards in this whole area. Ooh, there's another. Wait a minute. Wasn't there cards in that mailroom area? Did I miss that? I may have missed that. Hold up, let me just check. Let me just make sure. But yeah, I guess I can start talking about the whole parents thing. I'm very open about my personal life, but I also know not everyone. Where is it? I'm going the wrong way. Oh, not everyone is, you know.
Scanning. Access granted.
Oh, I'm gonna let that dude talk. Unless it already did and I didn't hear it. Was that it? I thought there was a card in here. Did I grab it? Did it say anything at all? Because I didn't hear anything. So if it didn't say anything, I'm so sorry. Yo! Oh, wait a minute.
There's a narrow slot, but I don't think
I can do this now. Oh my gosh, I have access to all these now. I just realized that. There's a lot of these in this area that I couldn't access. Now I can access them, so that is really good to know. But I don't think I have this ability yet, so I can't get that. Yeah, we have all the keys we need. Now it's just figuring out where all the boxes are so I can unlock them. But the cool part is that if I were to backtrack a little bit, I'll be able to find a lot of these. I'll probably be able to do a lot more of this than I thought. But yeah, anyways, I guess while I'm looking around and backtracking, I can talk about that. So basically, it was like my parents' like anniversary, and so they were coming down here to visit us because it's been like, I think the last time I went to see them was like 2019. Oh my god, that's crazy to imagine, really. But I haven't seen them in like a few years because circumstances made them move away multiple times, and I had to stay here because I was in school. So
be a rank riser,
and like obviously like I've told them about me streaming, so like I think they knew I'm a streamer and stuff, but they didn't know like a lot of these other like personal and I guess personal life decisions and changes that I've gone through in the few years since we've seen each other. They weren't fully aware of all that, and at least to my knowledge they weren't. But so I wanted to just be more transparent this time, because I was like, you know, I really don't want to hide behind all of that and just never be fully honest, because, you know, I feel like there's a part of me when I'm with my parents that's really comfortable, but then a huge part of me was being hidden every time I was around them, and I think that that's something that I wanted to just completely get rid of. What? I thought there were more fans in here. Is there really no more fans? I swear I thought there were fans. Whatever.
Is this even legal?
But yeah, back to what I was saying. So, because of that, I was like, you know, I would feel like I have a lot lifted off my shoulders. I probably do practice, honestly. That's probably not wrong. I can't even deny that. But, you know, I wanted to be fully honest, fully transparent, so that there's no more confusion. There's no more, parts of myself that I'm holding back from anybody. Because a big thing of my growth in the time between the last time I saw them was me being more comfortable with who I am and, like, taking ownership of the things that make me... Oh, I can't go? Okay. The things that make me who I am, you know? So I wanted to actually do a better job and take ownership of that stuff. I think I went everywhere, right? Oh, I didn't go in here. Oh, maybe it was in here. I wanted to really take ownership of who I am and not be hiding it from anybody, so that I can be fully comfortable around my family, fully comfortable around everybody that matters to me. That would be the only way to get to that ultimate goal of comfortability. Oh, wait a minute. Can't remember if this is where it is either. But yeah, at first I was afraid because I was thinking, I talked to my partners about it a bit, and I was thinking, oh yeah, maybe I can't tell them because, maybe I shouldn't tell them because, you know, they're religious, and, you know, they might not respond to, like, kindly to, wait, let me just make sure there's not a chest in here. They might not respond too highly to that, but, especially the type of religion they're involved in is very strict about that type of stuff. Like, but it seems like the people that my parents are involved with are not as strict as some of the people who follow that religion. It seems that way. So I wasn't 100% sure if it would be safe to bring something like that up. Like, maybe we would just been better off not mentioning it or something like that. But then ultimately I decided, you know, I'm just gonna do that because I want both of my partners to be involved in the whole process of that. The whole process of them visiting. Like, we went to go out, we went bowling, we went out to eat a few times. Like, I wanted both partners to be a part of that. I didn't want to have to hide one away during that. That's kind of whack, bro. So that's why we decided, you know what, we're gonna do it. So then I went into it, you know, And I would say my parents responded in the way that most understanding parents respond in, as we're like, oh, we love you and stuff. We're not gonna think any less than you. Basically, that whole idea. But what I really ooh, here's another one. But what I really think is important is that I was just so afraid because of like all the horror stories you hear like from people telling their parents this type of stuff. Okay, I'm curious. Ah, dang it, really? Okay, I was really about to hit those. I won't lie. The game knew me. But yeah, like a lot of people, especially in the religion my parents are in, if you're doing anything that goes against their strict rules, you basically get outcasted in their communities. And so that was something that was sitting in the back of my head. And then like all these horror stories that people talk about where it's like, oh, okay, like, you know, I decided to have my parents and it just went so horrible and stuff. And I was like partially hoping that wouldn't happen because one, I hadn't seen them in a long time, so I wanted to actually spend some time with them and actually enjoy our time together. But on the other side, I didn't want to tell them that, and then like it spoils our whole time together, and it's just everyone's uncomfortable. Like that's what I was afraid of.
You
but
got this, Susan.
Fortunately, my parents were pretty understanding, and they were respectful to both partners the entire time, which I really appreciate. But you know, after going through that experience, look at that. She's looking cute though.
Hey, are you sure you're old enough to be an intern?
How could you insult me like that? But yeah, it made me really think about things. Because I'm thinking to myself...
Hey, Coach.
Okay, maybe let this play. Oh, wait. Oh, he's not going to actually do anything interesting. Aren't you supposed to stay away from, you know, Death Machine plans? Hey, don't... You have an intern to take care of. To be fair, you are... Wait, are you old enough to be an intern? Probably not in reality in the game.
What do you think the mole is?
Oh, Sasha. 100%.
But yo, what's up, Quill Ribbit?
Right? It's weird.
Ribbit
Where
to
does
the
it even
limit.
come from?
Coach, I don't think...
Trust no one.
No one's seen The Brave Frog, right? I'm always the only one who's ever
one.
seen that movie. You know what? I'm just gonna leave him for now. I don't want to bother this. I don't want to bother homegirl.
Save your life, soldier.
But yeah, so basically, can I get in here? I can't. Ooh, okay, I want that. I want that. How do I get it?
Shouldn't you be wearing a mask?
I mean, I'm open to watching anything, but like, I swear, I always like to show people that movie because it's just so interesting to me how it's a kids movie, but like I felt like it like covered kind of like Psychonauts, where it covers like really adult type topics.
Disinfectant spray is lethal.
But like not like Psychonauts, it did it in a very serious manner. So it felt almost like, dang, really? I can't believe they thought this would be okay for kids. Type of thing, you know? So like, I don't know, I find it really shocking, so I like to show it to people and have them be like, oh wow, they thought this is good for kids. Interesting. Yeah, and I always liked American Tail, but The Brave Frog, in my opinion, I feel like definitely covers a lot of topics that are very mature, and when I saw it as a kid, I was like really scarred by it, and that's why I always reference it, because I didn't never forget it, you know? I can never forget the impact it had on me as a kid. But I also feel that way about An American Tail. That one is definitely one of the few that stuck with me as well, because it just covered a lot of really deeper topics. But yeah, anyways, sorry, back to the parents thing. So like, it always makes me think about how, you know, some parents, you know, they just can't be accepting, whether they're religious or not. And after going through that, especially knowing the religion that my parents are under, or like they follow, I really don't see any excuse for parents to act some of the ways that they've acted. Like, if my parents can make peace with that and just be accepting, I have such a hard time understanding a lot of these other parents that like make it seem like their whole world is ending because their child isn't what they expected. And I don't know, it just makes me really grateful that I got to experience that instead of the other side of the experience that a lot of people unfortunately have to experience. I'm glad that I didn't experience that, but it also makes me think to myself that like there's really no excuse for these people, because like I know for a lot of people religion is just so deeply engraved in them, so like it means so much, it means their life. And I know for my parents it does mean that much to them. Like for them it is their life, honestly. And if they're able to look past that and still respect their child for being who they are, and not have that ruin anything, I think that, I don't know, I just don't understand how anyone else could ever make an excuse to say that they can't do the same. Like, I don't know. I mean, I know my parents have always been very respectful in the sense where they care about their kids to the point where they're not gonna just disown you because you're different, right? I had a lot of rough patches with my parents growing up because of my differences, but as time went on, they definitely warmed up to me. So I think that made this all so much easier for them to deal with. Like, if I did this when I was younger, it probably wouldn't have gone over so well. So I think the timing was pretty ideal. But I don't know. It just makes me feel like some parents, I don't know. It's really sad to see how some of them react to something like that. And how even though they're your own children, you can't have respect and concern for them, and some of them like, you know, completely isolate their children or like disown them and all this stuff. It's just really disappointing to know that people can have that response given what I know about my parents and how they feel about religion and all that stuff, and them still being accepting. So I'm really grateful that happened. So since that happened, we all had a really good time together. Like, we all just had fun. It was kind of just like, oh, okay, that's that, and let's continue doing the things we plan to do. And that's literally what I hoped would happen. So everything just went perfectly swell. And now I don't have to have that sitting on my shoulder anymore where, like, I'm not honest with my parents or family or whatever. Oh, my bad, I didn't see that. A lot of people think of children as extensions of themselves who owe it to them to be obedient rather than an individual. It gets worse the more religious or whether you are. Yeah, I feel like something that I noticed happens with a lot of parents, and I'll continue the game soon, and I just wanted to talk about this specifically, but something that I noticed with a lot of parents, or especially religious parents or parents that really want their children to be a certain way, sometimes it just takes them time to warm up to their children's individuality, I guess. I feel like that's literally how it was for me, where like in the beginning when I was showing how weird I was, that I wasn't exactly what they expected, and it was obvious that it was maybe disappointing to them or like confusing to them, and they didn't understand why I was the way I was, like, but my sister was this way and all this stuff. That was very confusing to them, and they didn't always respond the best to that fact, you know. They didn't always respond in the best ways, because it's like, what's wrong with you? Like, why aren't you just what we expect, you know? But at the same time, I know they don't want to be hurtful, but you can tell when someone's feeling that conflict with you. It's confusing. But as time went on, I feel like they slowly started to just realize that, hey, she's happy this way. She's happier the way she is. And us constantly coming at her, questioning her, or making her feel uncomfortable about it, that's not going to change anything. It's just going to make them not want to be around you, you know? I think that that's the realization that they've come to terms with. Because when I was younger, I did stay away from a lot of my family because I didn't want to put myself in a situation where I can be judged constantly and feel uncomfortable. So now that they've been like definitely toning that down and being more accepting and respectful, it makes me want to hang out with them. It makes me want to see them more and keep up with them and stuff like that. Now that this is off my shoulders, I can see myself keeping in contact with them way more consistently now. Part of me was just afraid to do that if I didn't know how they would react, you know? So now that I'm past that, I want to associate with them more. So it's really good when parents can actually, you know, sometimes it takes some people time. Sometimes I hear stories of like it taking people's parents like years, like we're talking like 10, 20 years worth of time before they start to come around. But it always warms my heart when I find out that they do eventually come around, you know? Obviously that doesn't happen for everybody, but and luckily for me it happened a lot quicker with my parents, but that is what gives me hope that people can always come around. Like there's always a chance for redemption. And so like even though I have a lot of trauma and stuff with my parents, the way this week played out definitely helped heal a lot of that. I can't lie. Like I feel like a lot of the stuff that happened as a kid that used to like really traumatize me and make me feel like really uncomfortable to be who I am, it just kind of feels way better now. It feels like I can definitely heal from things just because of what, you know, how it went. So obviously not everyone's in the situation or in the circumstances where they can easily communicate this type of stuff. I definitely encourage you to make sure that if you're going to do something like this, you're in a safe position. You're not like fully reliant on your family or anything like that, because a lot of people who struggle and suffer, it's because they told their parents when they need them. So it can become really difficult when you still need your parents' support and now they're not supporting you because of like who you are. Like that can be terrible and just adds so much more stress to your life. So just make sure you're safe about when you tell people things. But yeah, that's basically it. So I guess we can continue the video game.
Hey, Ford. Shoes aren't ready yet.
Shoes aren't ready yet.
What you doing there? Trying to disinfect these bowling shoes. But I think I'm losing the fight.
Oh, wait a minute. Am I supposed to go in all of their minds? Oh, so that means technically I've done this one. So now I need to do the barber shop. Oh, yeah. All I have to do is reintegrate all of them. But I wasn't ever able to go in the barber shop before, so let's see what that's like. Or the hair salon, whatever they call it. Yeah, I was never able to come in here before. Now I can. So I think that all I need to do is just interact with everybody. Interesting. Okay. I thought there was going to be more to this, but it looks like we are really just going to go right into the story. Because, like, last session was so long going in that dude's brain. Trying to follow that arrow. Here we go. Give me some extra moolah! That's one of the ways that you can use clairvoyance in this game. And then you notice once you use it, the marker is gone. So now you know... Oh, no. Oh, frick. I thought I did something wrong. So now you know that you can basically... you're done with that. Then we got another one of these. Not surprising that it's in here. So that's the currency in this game, which is very, very useful. I'm quite curious now. I want to see, how do I see, like, how much is done in this area? Okay, 27 out of 27 side challenge cards. So we've done all those. We've done all the supply chest keys, but we're still missing one supply chest. And then we have 7 out of 8 side challenge markers. Interesting. So we're almost done this area. This area I still had a bit more, and then this area we had a bit more too. But we're doing pretty good. I want to try to 100% this game, so the brains are what's gonna take a long time though, because like I'm definitely missing a lot from like. Oh, I think this is the only brain I 100%. Oh yeah, that's why the check mark is there. What am I talking about? This one we're close. No, we're not really. Yeah. I'm gonna have to like go back at the end of the game and fix all that, but I want to try to get as much as I can in the places I've visited. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to find this last supply chest and the last side challenge marker and all that stuff. We're getting there, but I didn't realize I can just continue the story right now. So let's do that.
Sorry, with a client right now, obviously.
Yeah, those chests give a lot. Dang, that's messed up. Would you mind if I went inside your mind and sorted a few things out? Let's go into the barber guy first.
Would you mind
because,
if I jumped into your mind for a second? Just to even out some split ends.
Why not?
If it'll keep you quiet, then go right ahead.
Okay, something tells me that each of these brain segments are going to be really long. So, this might be the rest of the stream right here. The barber's head. So that's what I mean by you go inside the barber's head and life is freaking good. And now we're going to have to try and unjumble up what's going on in here so that we can merge all three of those brains back together. And Ford is back to who we need him to be for the rest of the story. Oh, they are? Oh, I was assuming that they're going to be long as hell. Just that dude, what was his name? The Side King's brain was like ginormous. We're putting our whole body up inside the head. I don't know why I did that, because I have health already. Gerlovia invaded. Gazar Theodore's desperate plea for help. Wait, I'm missing a brain? I only had 3, I thought. Alright. Oh, we got 43 figments. That gives me some hope. We might be able to get all the figments here.
Someone's looking a little shaggy. Well, not to worry. A fresh cut and you'll feel like a whole new person. Just make sure you cut away the right parts, or your old friends won't recognize you.
Oh no, that's sus. That sounds like something out of a horror movie.
Ford's mind. And something tells me it's up in that lighthouse.
And how am I supposed to get over there? But yeah, the game's environments are like so interesting to me. I love them. All right, so something tells me I'm gonna need, let's pop this out. Yeah, I had a feeling. All right. Then before I jump like a booty eye, I need to get back my levitation ball, because that's what you use to trigger this. So then we can come over here. What? Was that not a ledge? I thought that was a ledge. Are you serious? All right, so we got some credits. I don't know what the hell that was. That was so mean, game. You didn't have to do me like that. Brads can tell that it's in the lighthouse because it's the tallest and brightest point in the distance, which tells the player that it's an important landmark. Game design. The fourth brain is when all Fords are oh, okay, so that one's probably the longest then, right? That's my guess. Ooh, how do we get over there? That's a figment, right? That is a figment, I'm pretty sure. Interesting. Alright. So let's see what's going on in this section of the brain. This section of the mind. Oh, freaking balls! Okay, that was not what I was expecting. For some reason, I thought everything would just be okay, and it was not. So. Oh, frick! I didn't see you there. Wait a minute. What abilities? Oh, I don't have any of the right abilities out for attacks. I don't know how often we're gonna use the time thing, so I'm gonna pull this out for my L1. It's actually really useful to me. And then I think I can use that. Yeah, those are the two things I use for things flying. Really? Alright. Get me some figments over here. Malak razors. The sharpest blade is the one you never feel. Honestly, every time I see them using like those types of blades in movies, I'm always like really sussed out. I don't know how anybody uses that crap. I feel like I'd be terrified. Oh, this is a bunch of hair. Okay, I didn't make that connection at first, I won't lie. how do I get that? Okay. Ah! No, you ice! Oh, come on. Dude! What? Stop it, Raz! Oh my gosh, No! No! Bro! Oh, I don't actually have... Oh, yes I do. What am I talking about? I do have water. Thank you for the rehydrate clause. Okay, I was just not timing it right. Okay. Alright. Ew! What the frick? Ew! What the heck?
These things on.
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all, but that actually triggers me. That's nasty as hell. What the frick is that? Can I burn them? What? Ew, that's so nasty. Stuff like that really bothers me. Ew.
I hate these things. I wish I could just blow them away.
Blow them away, huh? Alright. How can I blow them and not, like, how can I blow, but I can't, like, burn? Like, how you can't, how, what? Oh, frick, how do I blow? How do I blow? Very good question up in the booty eye. Oh, did they want me to clairvoyant? Did they want me to levitation? No. Do I have a thing that blows? Oh, an environmental puzzle. Okay, I thought I always think that it's my abilities all the time, and I keep forgetting to like check the environment. That's the only problem I have with this game. I'm always thinking, oh, it has to be an ability, but like sometimes it's literally just like a puzzle where there's something in the environment to help. High and tight! The Gazaz's mysterious new weapon, friendly floods. Wow, I can't cheat it. I was about to try to cheat it for a second. Okay, so I'm supposed to look around the environment and see if there's something like a fan. Can I ground pound on that? No. Wait a minute. There's a huge fan over there. A huge one, blow dryer over there. Oh, come on. Am I gonna have to keep using this ability every time? Alright, if I'm gonna have to keep using it, I'm just gonna keep it out. But every time I put this out, I forget that I put it out, and then I die with the levitation. Not the blow dryer. I'm pretty sure I have to shoot this, though. Seriously.
Yeah, get lost, lights.
You think you get rid of those things, but they always seem to come back.
That was it. That was the same icon as before. Ooh, what's that area down there? How do I get to that? Can I just jump down there? I don't see how I get back. That's the issue. But, like, how do I get there to begin with if I don't just do it from here? Wait, what did you think you saw? Now I'm curious of what you thought you saw. Alright, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep levitation as that, but I'll just switch between telekinesis and side blast whenever it seems like I need one or the other more often. But one thing I'm curious of is, can I cheat this and just, like, come down here? Okay, I can. But how do I get back? Can I get back? Oh, I was supposed to just jump over here. Okay, I see. I see. Oh, you saw the big rotating fan, but you thought I had to, like, interact with it. Oh. Please make it. Okay. There we go. Alright. So now we gotta use a combination of abilities here. And I guess I'll just do it like that. So I gotta slow this fan down, so I can use that with the time thing. And then I have to... Wait a minute. How do I make sure I get those figments? This is a little bit... Alright, we'll do this first. But yeah, I should be able to use this. Okay, that kind of worked, but I died. But it worked. So, we're getting there. What? I thought it was supposed to last longer than that. What the frick? Why does it end so fast? Oh no, I did it wrong. Okay, never mind. That didn't happen, y'all. Don't worry about it. I forgot this thing's very picky in the sense where if you don't time it right, you won't do the right thing. No, I'm seriously confused. Why is he ending it so fast? Like, isn't he supposed to be able to fly much longer than that? Oh my god. Alright, I gotta try something different here, but I don't know what the different is. This is not how this usually works. Okay, I tried the jump. That didn't work. Alright, that didn't work. Is there? Oh, never mind. Can I get up here, though? No, I can't. Oh, no! My ice! Apparently everybody's seeing things. Oh, that was weird. Okay. Okay, so I can slow this down. What I don't understand is why when I slow this down, I get like no momentum from that. From the fan. Am I not in it? Do I think I'm like in it but not in it? That's probably what's happening. Like, am I just not in the blow area? Oh, I'm not in the blow area, I think. I think I wasn't actually reaching the blow area. It's further than I think. Alright, hold on. Let me try that. Oh, yeah, I wasn't even... Ah! Dick. I wasn't even in the blow area, that's why. Come on, bro. It's 5 heads that think you can just burn them. I know that sounds sus. I wasn't in the blow area, but yeah. Where's another fan? Am I supposed to just, like, go in like this and just take the L to grab the figment? Maybe. Alright, here we go, y'all.
More of these things.
Hey, now, this is their home. You're just a visitor.
No, this is nasty. No one wants to visit this. Ah, these are dead. Okay, that's kind of depressing. I didn't know it was going to be all like that, but you know.
Oh my, well, accidents happen.
Yeah, that was no accident. That was brilliant problem solving. Yep.
Okay, I want to make sure I'm not missing a figment here, so let me just do a quick little search. Alright. I swear, I always am about to lose a figment, and I don't know how it's possible to miss one figment. I really don't. Like, you gotta be honest on drugs doing that. Like, to me, that means I'm missing an obvious figment. If I'm missing one figment, it had to be something obvious, because I got all the ones that were actually hard to get. No! What the frick? Oh my god, why? Why? Sometimes, Rise, I really don't like your eye. Like, sometimes I really don't like it. Which ability do I have on? Oh, okay, we have that. We need to switch to... See, this is why PC games are really cool. I wish they had an option for me to just map, like, abilities to, like, the keyboard. But obviously that wouldn't be fair for like console players. And I am playing this with a controller. But it's like, man, I really wish I didn't have to keep doing this all the time. Like this is what you don't have to worry about when you're on PC. You just have a button for each freaking ability and then you're done. All right. So let's see. I can leave it like this for now. It seems like that one comes up a little bit more than the time one. I was about to say, how did I miss that? Ooh. Okay, they got slapped, I won't lie.
No.
Did he say help? Oh, I forgot I have that stun thing on. That's why. That's OP as hell.
Here's the steamer trunk tag.
Ooh, that's really helpful. Okay. Maybe I should keep that out a bit more. Because telekinesis is nice. But, like, I can't... But, like, that's pretty nice having a constant stun to use on enemies. Pretty nice. I don't trust this game. I gotta look at every corner. Tides turn in Grulovia. New war minister rides the wave of victory. Give me health because I really hurt myself. Oh my god, half a brain. All right, here we go. Wait, I heard something. What was that? I guess there's this in my head. All right. Get these figments and get this half a brain. Nice. Oh, and it fills my health all the way. Dope. Oh, we need to get one of these. We got to get the emotional baggage. Oh, no, that's not... I can't remember what this is. Memory vault. That's what it is. Psychonauts summoned. It's just a bunch of images, but it kind of shows you what's going on in their brain. Psy time. Clever. Damn destruction drowns dozens in destabilized dictatorship. Oh, no. So I guess that's the lady. Cesar flees... Oh, nope. Not saying that. Can no one stop mad? Maligra. And they're like, yes, we will. That literally looks like the freaking start of like a freaking superhero movie like that right there. And like, okay, this is our plan. We got this plan. We're gonna be amazing. What's going on here? They're not as confident. Skydiving. So the Psychonauts were summoned because of Maligula. Okay, that's basically what that was. Good story information. It's pronounced Ko-Detot. Oh, okay, yeah. I don't even... Why did I do that? I don't need it. I like, am so bad at pronunciation, so... I just gotta take the L sometimes.
No.
Oh no, dang it, I got stuck in the animation. Okay, I think I'm getting better at fighting in this game. Because for a while, we were kind of trash. Can't deny that. We were kind of trash for a bit. I think I'm finding the combination of abilities that I really like. Oh no! Dang it. Wait, I think those are fire. Those are the ones you do with fire and they die really quick. Oh, dang it! You have more range than I realized, buddy. I didn't realize you were gonna do that. Oh, what? My stun doesn't work on him? Oh yeah, I forgot in this game they can hurt each other as well. Ow. Wow, he just slapped me right in the eye. That was messed up, bro. Oh, I thought I was gonna kill him before that. My bad. I thought he was dead beforehand. Code de tot. Code de tot. Ooh, what? There's a figment there. I didn't even notice that. Dang. That's probably something I missed. Something like that, where it's like obvious. Coup? Coup? Like that? Hey, I already told you I'm terrible at this, okay?
Well, at least I know how to deal with them now.
Did I heal yet? All the way up? Coo, like cuckoo? Cuckoo nest? Like coochie? Okay. I thought it sounded better.
A little hydrocide would make this area a lot less lousy.
Okay, what can I... Oh, wow. I was like, what can I shoot? And it's right here.
Sorry, insects, but you're in my way. Huh?
What have you done?
Cleaned up the streets?
Those were peaceful protesters, Lucy.
Lucy?
Peaceful protesters. Those goddamn peaceful protesters are at it again. Oh, that was almost really bad, but we lived.
What's that sound?
Ooh, did I get you or not? Oh, I did. Yeah! This is the emotional baggage. So basically, you helping them with their emotional baggage if you find the tag and then the bag. Hey, that rhymes. Hey! What? Oh, that was weird. It sounded like glitching out. Okay, hold on. This seems like a really big area. I don't know why the text-to-speech isn't working. I gotta say, I'm sorry about that. It says I have it. But it's not working. But yo, what's up, Miggle? How you doing? Sorry about that. I don't know why it's not working. Yeah, it could be something on their end. I would have to check the Discord and figure that out. My badge. Hello, passengers. This is your... Oh, okay. You did a joke. Don't worry, though. It's kind of cringe. I won't lie. The voice for... the voice for Quark was so bad.
Is that really you?
Ford, it's me, Raz.
Are you really the same person I used to know?
Ford, I just saw you. Remember the bacon?
I can't even recognize the person you become.
Why is he even trying to communicate with it like that's gonna work right now?
Close. Very close. Hey guys, that's a little bit too close, okay?
Oh my gosh, I'm walking on hair. Oh man. Oh, this is kind of cool. I won't lie, y'all. This is kind of cool. Oh, never mind. Never mind. That part is not cool. Okay, I was wondering if that's how that worked. I thought I could just walk anywhere, and I was having such a good time, and now I'm hurt. Okay. I gotta make sure I don't miss any figments, so I'm gonna try to walk as much as I can around here. There's one. Oh my god! Oh my god, please tell me right now that I didn't miss one more goddamn figment, alright? Oh wait, okay, I was about to... Oh, frick. Okay, alright, you didn't have to do me like that, game. You really didn't. I was about to get mad, but apparently I got all of them. Dang it! I'm walking on hair. What? I'm walking on hay. You can hear it. It sounds like hay. Hey there, Mr. Hay.
Wait a minute. You're not Lucy.
It is such a relief to hear you say that.
You're something from deep inside her. Something
deep inside?
we accidentally unlocked.
I thought he said deep inside her. Wait. Okay, I thought this was gonna have like a weird sound to it. It doesn't. Wait, he said that? Oh, frick. Look at those teeth. Let me make sure there's nothing else in here.
Hey, you
Oh, that is
lousy
what he
little
said?
mite,
Oh,
how'd you
okay.
get in here?
This game is like
Don't
known
push
for
me.
having weird
I'll gargle a
sounds
whole
for different
bottle of
textures and
Irish out if I
stuff.
need to.
Lucretia went to Grulovia.
She went back to protect her family, to help her country. Oh, but it changed her. War changes everybody. Inside all of us, we all
Hello
have
there, Ivy.
dark roots.
How are you doing? Appreciate you stopping in.
Sometimes we need that darkness.
Hopefully you're doing
to
well.
Survive. Careful. Sometimes it's hard to get it back in the bottle.
So this is what you mean by short. So the barber's done already. It's kind of awkward, I won't lie.
Oh, sorry, Ford. I dozed off there for a sec. Ford? Huh. I guess he finished up. Well, if you see Ford, tell him he did a great job.
I can say
feel
it
like a
again. I'll talk
completely
about it over
different
again if I need to, but I'll just make it shorter this time.
Got one piece of Ford's mind connected.
But yeah, I
After the other
appreciate your
two.
interest. But
I hope I'm
basically
doing the
it went
right
pretty
thing.
well.
And Agent Zanotto is right. We'll need Ford at full capacity if we're gonna have a chance against
Okay, he's just saying I
Maligula.
gotta do the other ones. Okay. Basically, let's do the mailroom. I want to save the bowling for last.
Scanning. Access. Granted.
We were considering not telling them at all, but I realized that I haven't seen my parents in years, and I don't know when I'm gonna ever see them again. So I really didn't want to mess up this opportunity and not, take full advantage of it and actually try to be transparent with them. But basically, they're pretty accepting. They're still religious and they're very honest and transparent about their religious views still.
Would you mind if I
but they also were respectful. They're respectful to Tyga and Dan. They treated us, so they paid for a lot of the things we did together, which is really kind of them to do, especially since we're not doing the best financially right now. Because that was some of the things we were worried about. Because, some parents, when they're not accepting, they're like, nah, I'm not paying for you. I'm not supporting you. You do all that on your own. It's like, that's what we were worried about happening. And like right now, if you're going to do anything with them, like we don't really have the finances to be shelling out all that money. So I was just hoping that we'd still have a good time with them if we told them and that everything would go okay. But it did. They were still respectful. They said, they're just like the typical respectful parents where it's like, we love you. You have to make your own decisions in life. So if this is, oh, what the hell? Oh, cool. That was cool. Anyway, if this is your decision, then that's what you're going to do. And fortunately, it didn't mess up anything else that we had planned. We still did everything that we had planned and had a good time. I think they're planning to go home today. So like right now, they're probably on the way back. But yeah, and I'm glad we still got to have a good time. We went out to eat twice, and then we went bowling, which was a lot of fun.
We brought peace to Grulovia, but there is still unrest among the people. A little ungrateful, I think. Home soon, Lucretia.
Can I burn it, though? Okay, sorry. The game makes me think about it, all right? Got 47 in this place, so let's do this. Let's not miss anything. Oh. But yeah, I'm glad it went well and stuff like that. I definitely want to try to talk more about this type of stuff, like maybe in future content. But right now, I'm just focusing on trying to look for work and getting us back stable again. And then I really hope to really focus on content more here and there when I can.
Be up in that giant clunky head.
Hey, I came out of that clunky head.
Really? Can you help me get in there?
Maybe. To tell you the truth, I'm not dressed very well, so I'm sure I'll be marked return to sender and sent back there soon. Just grab on.
Did someone say return to sender?
Uh-oh. Okay.
But this letter's got no return address.
Dang!
I'm afraid that means the dead letter office for you.
But wait, I'm a heartfelt love letter.
Don't care
Oh,
who
no.
you quoted. The feelings must get sorted.
This place looks interesting. I see a lot of ways for me to die. Good to know. And I can. Okay, that makes me very interested. That makes me very curious. No, okay. That's an invisible wall, folks. That is an N-O spaghetti-o to my curiosity.
Too many letters, they just keep coming. What's the point?
I did not know that
Nobody
move. I was not paying
really
attention to that. Dude, where the hell is it? Oh, here it is. Oh, frick. How do I get up there? Oh, I think we're going to get there at another section. Ooh, this place is bigger than I thought. It has, like, even places where you can go inside like
Did I
this.
think I could stop a war? Ah, doesn't matter. I never sent it. Maybe
Oh,
it
frick.
would have saved 1,000 lives. Maybe just one. I wonder what would have happened if I'd sent that letter.
Bruh.
I wonder if it's too late.
Get me out of this graveyard.
But yeah, one of the things that I thought, like, I watched this channel that kind of talks about, like, religion. Oh, no.
If I get
Should
you
I have
out of
triggered
here,
that?
will you still take me up
Can I
to
still
the
go
head?
back down there, please?
Yes, but quick, before you...
No!
Whoa! Ah! Ugh.
Oh, my mistake. This doesn't belong in the dead letter office. Look at that address. It belongs in the International Dead Letter Office.
What? No, wait!
Uh-oh.
Okay, good. I was about to get so mad. I was like, I still got figments down here. Ah! Really? They're gonna make me fight this thing more? Am I really gonna have to slow it down every time? Or can I just kill it, like, without doing that?
Man!
Uh-oh. Dang it. Okay, okay, fine, fine. Alright, alright. The frick?
Man!
Ow! Does that not count as a hit? That was bullshit. What? I thought you died! You ball, man. That was a ball right there. But yeah, I'd like to talk more about, like, the process of doing that, because there's, like, a YouTube channel that I watched that would talk about religion, kind of like how theoretically, I would say it had very, like, strong views towards not having any respect towards any religion at all. And although I kind of understand that, that's not usually how I think about things. I try to be as accepting as possible. So, like, even though I might not be religious and I have my issues against it, I try to be respectful. But one of the ways that, you know, they talk about it not being respectful is, like, it's really hard to have respect for someone that is basically... Wait. Let me just do this, see what this does. Because I can try and
Lucy,
go on it.
haven't heard from you in a while. Send us a card, or better yet, come home.
I'm still missing
we
one.
Miss you.
Oh,
Ford.
frick. What the hell? How did I miss that? No, just all religions. Like, they're basically, I can't remember what the freaking channel is called. But basically, it was like, they mainly talk about Christianity and Catholicism. Like, being Catholic. Is that how you say that? Catholicism? I don't even know how to say that. They're mainly talking about those religions, but in reality, their claims are about all religions. Because, you know, technically, if you were to follow, their argument is if you were to follow the truth of every religion, what they all claim to be true, then a lot of people are being disregarded, disrespected, and mistreated. So that's why you don't have to have respect for it. That's basically their argument or their mindset behind it, where it's like, if we're going to be honest about what your religion really means and what it's really saying, it wouldn't be right for us. We don't have to respect that. We don't have to agree with that kind of thinking, that kind of mindset, that type of thing. That's kind of like basically how it goes. And they have a lot of really good content on this. Man, I hate when I forget the channel name because I really want to recommend it, because if you do have an interest in like religion and you're kind of interested in this topic, which is a really interesting topic for me as well, I recommend the channel a lot. Where am I supposed to go? Right? Oh, I'm supposed to go that way. What am I doing? I really recommend the channel. But yeah, it basically just talks about how you don't have to have you don't have to respect views that go against the way you think and feel about the world. And if you feel like certain views, you know, aren't respectful to people, then wait. Oh no. Oh, I had the wrong ability out. If you disagree with some of the rules that, you know, that religion literally follows and goes by, you know, you don't have to respect that. You don't have to respect people that follow that religion. But I do feel like with that approach to religion, it just causes a lot of animosity, I guess. So I respect the channel and I think it's great. Like, I did learn a lot from it and I respect it, but at the same time, I feel like it's a little too much. It's a little bit more extreme than I am personally, but I do think it makes a lot of really good arguments, you know, for why you don't have to respect religion and stuff like that, and things like that. But I just basically use it to educate myself about religion and like different perspectives towards religion that can really be helpful. Oh wait, no, that's not how I'm supposed to do that. Wait, if I bring you close to me, you hurt me with the thing? Alright, let's see. We can take this out, or we can take this out. Let's see. Okay, that works. I'm not explaining it as well as they do in their videos. They go into a lot of detail, and what I really love about it is they have a lot of visuals as well. So like, it makes it really easy to follow along and stay focused for someone like me who gets easily distracted, because I'm visually looking at things that are communicating what's being discussed, and that helps me a lot. I shared it in the Discord or like on stream before at some point in time, but I really just don't remember what the channel name is right now. That's so annoying. But oh, what the? But in my opinion, my biggest perspective in life is that people aren't gonna agree on things. Like that's rarely ever gonna happen, right? You're never gonna really have. We're not gonna have a world where people agree on things and, you know, we can all just live in harmony. We can live in harmony to an extent, though, if we make compromises. So, to me, a compromise is, instead of saying to my parents that I can't respect you because you're religious, I can tell them where my boundaries are, and we make an agreement to respect each other's differences in that regard. We don't have to discuss any of the views that we don't agree with if we know that's not going to be constructive. Because for a lot of religious people, that isn't constructive. Because for them, it means so much to them in a way that I don't want to disrespect that, you know? But at the same time, I don't think it's useful to be like, oh, I don't respect you because of this and that. Because then it just causes a lot of conflict and, you know, I don't want that for my life.
Not enough to secure my reign. Stop being coy with the hoi polloi.
So that's what I'm trying to do. Make peace with the fact that, you know, people are different from me. How can we find a way to compromise? Or how can we find a way to just realize that, hey, we're all human here. And a lot of us are just doing what helps us feel better about life. You know, that's literally what's going on most of the time. We're doing what makes us feel better about life. For some people, religion helps them feel better about life. Having some belief attached to that helps them feel better about that, you know? Wait, I'm not supposed to do it like that?
Yep.
Wait, I'm confused. Why can't I jump on it? I thought I was supposed to do it that way. So in my opinion, I feel like there's a lot of reasons why people follow religion, and I can understand most of them. So, like, why would I tell them that they can't approach life in that way if that's what helps them the most, you know? Wait, was I supposed to do that? Like, is that how that works, or? Oh my god, these are really annoying to do without telekinesis. I just hate switching my abilities, but it doesn't seem worth it to do it like this. Alright. It honestly seems like fire is more situational. So I might just take the L and put, like, telekinesis there or something. There we go. Seems like fire is more situational. I don't actually need that all the time, so I'm assuming I shouldn't have that as a main. Oh, frick, I still gotta get this. I was about to slap some hoe. I just wanted to climb up here and see if there's anything up here. People pull different things from religion. Some people are insane and are Bible thumpers and quite literally give their soul to Jesus. But then others, like myself, when it comes to being Muslim, I've been raised into religion, yes, but I just follow the things that I personally agree with. Yeah, and I feel like, my bad, sorry, Miguel, for taking so long to answer that, but I feel like that's how most people go about it, right? Like, even some of the people who I've met from my parents' religion, like some of the people like I've met and interacted with who are physically in the same religion with them and, like, you know, very involved. I can get that. No. Okay, no, that's not good. But I get the sense of that from them. Even that, like, a lot of them aren't really that strict about things. They're not gonna hate. None of them hated me for being weird or. Oh, come on, balls. You can heat me up some. No! Raz, I swear. Why do you hate me like this? I swear, bro. You're telling me there's, like, nothing here? Like, I thought that there'd be something here. Am I supposed to just jump when it pops me up? Is that the gimmick? Oh, God. I didn't know I was going to take damage. But, yeah, like, that's how most people are. Most people are following the things that they're following because, one, that's what they're raised to do. And two, they find things that they can make peace with. with it, and then that's it. They just don't make a big deal about it. And like, I can't really sit here and say that someone like that doesn't deserve my respect. It's the people that I feel like make a lot of decisions that hurt a lot of other people that I'm more concerned about. But like, most people who follow religions don't really care about all that. Okay, I was worth it because at least I got the figment, all right? I don't know how I was really supposed to do that ish, but hey, we got the figment. There's no other ones, right? But yeah, that's kind of my philosophy. My philosophy... Yeah, see, that's what I'm not okay with. If you're gonna be religious and you're using that as an excuse to control other people's lives and hurt people and take their rights away, that's not something I can just, you know, accept. I don't know what I was trying to do. I thought I was supposed to grab that pole, but I'm wondering now if that's what I was supposed to do. Is it? Maybe it is what I'm supposed to do. It is! Okay, I tried to, okay? Okay, we got all the memory vaults. So Lucy's letters. Alright. Grulovia invaded. And then Lucy left to help her family. And then he was tired. Dearest Ford. She wrote him a letter. I can't read cursive. War is over. Now the people are the problem. That's always the problem. Lucy, your last letter frightened us. You don't sound like yourself. We're worried about you. Country discontinued? What? That's a bit dark. But yeah, I don't like when people try to use that as an excuse to take people's rights away. Like how a lot of people in America feel like this country is just a Christian country. So all these Christian beliefs that so many people don't really believe in or follow have to get spoon-fed to us in our day-to-day life. Like that's the stuff I find to not be as cool, because it's like, you know, you're religious and that's great. You do what you do, you. But I don't think it's right for them to try and enforce their way of life and their way of thinking on the rest of us, especially when it literally takes away people's rights. Oh my god, I can't believe I got that and didn't die. No! I swear, I wish his dive didn't go downwards. It just needs to go a little bit... But yeah, like, people, you can't be taking people's rights away just because you have beliefs that you think everyone should live by, but that's just not the way the world works, okay? Like, not everyone's gonna think the same way, not everyone believes in the same things, so it's just not fair for people to ignore that. Oh, please hit it. Wait, what? Okay, there we go. It's not fair for people to try to enforce their views on everybody else when we know objectively that no one's gonna ever agree on the one right religion, the one right way to live life. That's just never gonna happen. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with us having no agreement with that. Something. We just have to learn to respect each other. And that's what I feel like a lot of people just really suck at, which is why I think the perspective of being like, I don't gotta respect you. You know, I get it, I do, but at the same time, I feel like it doesn't help us get where you want to go. We don't want to give people an excuse to victimize themselves even more. Okay, something tells me this is a slide, and I won't be able to get everything.
I like it so much, in fact. I can't remember being called by another name.
Ah, I think we got it. And that's the thing that also bothers me a lot, where it's like part of my brain is like, hey, like in science, like we have evidence for things, right? Part of me always struggles with like, why do we allow people to get away with some of the things that they believe when we have like things that kind of counter it? But like there are a lot of people who, even scientists and things, who feel like we don't really have an objective answer for religion, so like there's just no point in involving ourselves in that type of discussion. No, stop eating me. What? How can you think it's stunned? Of course, right here is a time where I need fire.
Why didn't I stock up on Psypops?
That's a great question that I don't have the answer for, and I'm sorry. No, this can't be the end. There's still an upper layer where there's like a bunch of figments. I saw a higher layer. I just don't know how we get there, but I did see it. My philosophy for a lot of these things is that no one's ever gonna think or feel the same ever in life, right?
Just hold still.
So
I'm gonna get you out of here.
wait, I didn't get that half a brain. Oh my god, I didn't get that half a brain.
Some letters are such a pain in the neck, they really belong in the furnace.
Wait, I think I know how to address this one.
Really? Well, it's worth a shot. But don't take all day. The mail must sail into tomorrow, no time to borrow.
Boy, I hope you know what you're doing.
Sad. See, I never know what's gonna make the story continue versus not. Oh my god, that actually worked. Okay, I don't know if this is bad though. I don't know if the game would break or not from me doing this, so we'll see what happens. But I'm like, I really need to get this half a brain, bro. I didn't know the story was gonna push me down. All right. Oh, sorry. What I was trying to say is my philosophy is that, yeah, we don't really have an objective way to approach a lot of these things, and we're not going to be able to convince people to think about it in an objective way anyway. So what we're better off trying to do is find a way for us all to live together and respect one another, even though we have differences in the way we see things. To me, that's what I try to think about when I'm in these situations. Is there a figment down there? No, I don't think I want to go down there. Wait, no, wait, whoa. Were those always there? Wait, no, actually, I think I do need to be down here. What's that? Y'all see that? That's a figment! You really gotta be eating me, bro. Dang, that's probably one of the ones I would have missed. Okay, I really wish that text-to-speech was working, but since it's not working... Oh no, please don't make me lose the other thing. Oh, did they do that because...
Hey, I think that's a key, but I don't think I have all the keys I need to properly address this envelope.
Yeah, I know. That's why you were doing that. Okay, I know I have to go back up here. Wait, what? can't get back up. Wait a freaking minute. Oh. That's why. Okay. How do I connect it? Dude, how the hell do I connect to that? Did the game just like organically screw me? Okay, I'm gonna read what you said though. Or I'm crying inside. I only caught the tail end of the conversation, but having scientific proof of something doesn't necessarily mean that you can change someone's mind. Oh, okay, that was kind of what I was getting at. People seem to enjoy being proven wrong about things. They aren't emotionally invested in, such as magenta not being a real color, but would sooner die than admit they were wrong about something they're emotionally invested in. There's a good Dan Olsen video about flat earthers that touches on why they aren't available to be persuaded. Yeah, that's what I'm noticing. So like when I was younger, I guess I was more naive and I was like, I want to really convince all these religious people that they're wrong about a lot of these views and their, thank you. And their views are hurting people, you know? So like I would, you know, get into all these arguments and cause a stir and a fuss because I thought that that was the only way. And now I realize that, you know, that wasn't doing anything, you know? That wasn't helping anybody because in reality, like, these people aren't even listening to me. Like, I don't want to make a big whole conversation about this because it's probably not something people want to talk too much about. But there literally was this person online that they were having a hard time understanding. Like in their mind, they were told to not consider like intersex people when you're talking about, you know, people's bodies. When we're talking about how not everyone has the same body, you know, all that type of stuff. They were told that, you know, intersex people, they don't count. And in my mind, that was very weird because, like, how do you just, like, pretend, oh, yeah, posture check, you're right, I did have a bad posture. Great. Thank you. But, yeah, like, how do you just, like, ignore a whole kind of person? Because that's information that helps you understand why you're wrong. So it was, like, so frustrating to me that was their argument. Their argument was, yeah, no, that doesn't count. Like, my dad told me that doesn't count. That's different. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Get out while you can. I don't wanna go. This nugget is
there we
saying
go.
To me, take me away.
Is this a response as to why Miguel is wrong, stating their faith is objectively wrong, or am I misreading? Oh, yo, what's up, Flame Forge? No, they're just adding their opinion to what I was saying about how even if I feel very strongly that religion might be wrong, right? Or someone's religion might be wrong or their beliefs hurt people, there's no way for me to, there's nothing that we can do to make people stop believing the things that they're really emotionally invested in. That's the point that Quill Rabbit's trying to make. So, like, we're better off trying to find ways to work with people who think differently than us than trying to convince them over the years, because there is no way to convince them. So that's my philosophy. My philosophy is we need to try and find a way to compromise and work with each other, because at the end of the day, we're all humans. We're all humans. We all have our passions and our things that matter to us. We're just trying to make it in the world. It doesn't help. It doesn't help if we are just always telling each other to not believe some way when people are just emotionally attached to things. But yeah, not everybody is like that. That's definitely true. But there are going to be people like that. And there are going to be people who aren't like that, who just choose to continue to believe what they want to believe, even if they might have questioned it differently. That's just life, you know? But hey, hello, Flame Forge. How you doing? I'm gonna be eating my pizza. My bad. All right. Oh. Oh yeah, we did really good in this one. Nice. Now I want to go back down, right? Yeah, the point is that people are like this regardless, you know? Wait, did I do this wrong? Was I supposed to be up there? Wait, what the hell?
I think that's the key I need over there.
Where's over there, bro? Oh, frick, that's not how I did it last time. How did I do it last time? The giant Yuki? I thought I grabbed it. I thought I grabbed what was up there. Okay, I probably didn't see it because I was really invested in what I was talking about. My badge. I might have to do this again. Is that what I gotta do? I don't even know how you're supposed to do this naturally. I don't even know. I feel like I had to cheat this part to get up. Oh my eyes. I did this last time and it worked. Oh, I was supposed to go in this box, wasn't I? I almost fell. Right? Oh, am I supposed to jump to that? No. What key am I missing? I'm probably drunk, but while I'm doing this, I'm just gonna eat. Yeah, I think everybody has things like that. That's kind of my point. Everybody has things that are really sensitive to them that they're not willing to listen to. They're just too emotional about it. And that's okay. It's about not letting people go too far. Are you trying to tell me that I missed keys? They mean like literal keys, like computer keys? Oh. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. I thought that they meant like a key, like you unlock it. That's why I was like, what key am I not seeing? Oh my god.
Now where are the rest?
Okay, y'all, this is what happens when I talk about a lot of stuff. But we don't gotta talk about it. We don't gotta talk about it. Don't worry about it. Oh my god, bro.
Complete. Just one key missing.
Apparently I do need Jesus. I need Jesus up in here. Up in here.
I think I know who Ford would like to address this letter to.
Oh, do I? Oh, frick. What's her last name? Anyone remember? Oh, okay. Never mind.
That's a possibility. Is it luck? Man, I hope it's luck.
I think he meant to send it to Lucretia.
Oh, that's right. That's the name we all forgot. Now let's send that off and see what we get.
Oh no.
You see? A mail just doesn't matter.
Awesome. 100% this way.
This is a private mailbox. You aren't allowed in here. You've been missorted. You touch that, and it's a federal crime. Go on.
What did you say in that letter?
Nothing important, really. Just that I loved her. She just wanted to help, but they pushed her too far. How should we have known? It's not like she was marked fragile. But I thought I knew her and everything she held inside herself. I had so much to learn. I guess some packages are better left unopened.
Okay.
Only one more piece of Ford's mind to reconnect. I'm making progress. But what if Maligula shows up here? And Ford's not ready? I need to hurry up.
Okay, alright. We got one more brain to go. I mean, one more part of the brain.
Psy cards piling up.
Here we go.
Turn them into Psy
I was the wrong
challenge
way.
markers with a Psy core from the Automatic.
Oh, frick. Wait, I won't be able to come back? Wait, what? Okay, change the plans. You know.
Check out these new time bubble pins. Smart. Keep one of those in your pocket, or 9 if you want to live like a cat. Delicious and good for your mental energy.
Okay, we do that. Okay, and then I want to look at these pins. This one's kind of cool, I won't lie. Whoa! No wonder it's level 56. That sounds OP as hell, because I use the mental connection all the time. That's actually kind of cool. This one actually seems helpful, honestly, because I do melee a lot. This actually would be helpful. Doubts explode when you take them out with pyrokinesis. This is actually pretty nice. Okay, what I like a lot is this. But I kind of want to rock this because I really, really don't like having to switch to pyro just to kill those guys. And if I can switch to pyro and get them out of the way quicker and get more AoE, that would help. Speeds up objects and enemies rather than slowing them. What? Oh my gosh, which ones are useful? I can't decide. I think this one might help me the most right now, so I'm gonna try to get this. So let's get rid of, what are we getting rid of? I like the magnet. Food for thought. What the hell? Which one was that?
Tell me if that works. I mean, tell me how you like it.
I forgot you can only have 3, so like you really don't want to overdo it. We can buy a Psychor.
Let's combine that Psychor with your card so you can rank up.
All right, so I was gonna go and do the last brain, but it looks like I need to go complete as much as I can before I leave. I'm assuming that doesn't count people's minds. I'm assuming it's just talking about the areas that we've explored, right? So if that's the case, let me actually look at those pins again, because I can't remember what the other one I had was. Each mental connection node has a chance to restore a little mental energy. Okay, that was nice, but I don't even think it worked that often, so... these are probably the best for now. But yeah, we can upgrade a lot. We can probably upgrade a lot of our stuff, so I should like go through and look at that. You can come back to the entire game, but they said make sure you finish as much as you can before you leave. So it's probably saying, like, if you want to have all these, if you want to have the most, if you want to be the most prepared, you go back. and do some stuff first. So I probably should do that. This is really useful. Do I take damage when I go into clairvoyance? I never noticed that. Okay, we got that. On impact, burst into smaller side blast projectiles. I'm not sure. That's what I'm saying. I want to go back and make sure I get as much as I can before I do that. So I might do a little bit of backtracking in those areas, but then after that, that's probably going to be the end of the stream. I'm trying to figure out which ones that level up. All the ones that I haven't leveled up just give more damage. So this does more damage. That's not that important right now. This gives the pyro bigger range, which is nice, but not necessary. I don't know how much this is needed. That's my problem. Affects a large area rather than a single target. I think I can sit on these right now. If anything... Yeah, it's probably not final boss, but they're probably just saying make sure you're really prepared because it's probably going to be a long section is the point. So...
If you need a big win, come down and get a performance-enhancing pin.
We're going to try to see if I can go back and find anything that I wasn't able to find before, because now I have that time ability, so I should be able to do some more extra things that I wasn't able to do before, so we'll take a look at that and see what happens. But I won't spend too much time on that, because I do want to continue the story more. So if I have to continue the story and I still don't have stuff, whatever, but I want to at least try to get stuff if I can.
But Sherry, we promised...
Alright, so the quarry. So basically I'm talking about places I visited. That's where I want to try and see if I can get anything extra. We're missing one supply chest here, and we're missing a side challenge marker there. The quarry is just where we're at right now. We're missing some side challenge cards, a supply chest and crate. And key. And then that's it. So... we can try to take a look around here, see if there's anything I can use that time ability on that would really help me out. Help me get some more stuff. Wait a minute. Bro. What? How did I not see that? Are you serious? Bro, how did I not see that?
Is that the extent of your range?
Where's the freaking bolt? Oh, wow. It actually saves the last location you put it? Oh, no, dude.
Yep. Anyone want to see my oarsman's badge? No?
Oh, my God, please. This boat's so glitchy. Okay. I can't believe I missed that. Oh, no. I'm assuming I climbed on that before. I'm gonna be looking for things I can climb because I keep missing that. Where was it? I saw it. I saw an area where I can climb up. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I don't know how I didn't see this before. I don't know what I was on. I literally completely ignored this place. I keep forgetting that you can climb certain things. Oh, wait a minute. I don't have the key. Oh, never mind. Oh, I think all the keys work for any chest, but I don't have... I'm missing one of the keys in this area. I think that's what it was, right? Yeah, so I have a key in this area and then some more side challenge cards. But man, where are they? Oh. Oh, you see that? I see that. Oh, frick.
Better not be any lake monsters in here.
Okay, how do I get back up? Bum, ba, bum, ba, ba, bum, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum. But yeah, there's this philosopher I read. Oh, I can't just get off anywhere. I forgot. There's this philosopher that I read in college, and I really liked how their approach to like a lot of these kind of issues is that as a species, we should focus on the things that we all have in common instead of focusing so much on the things that we have that differentiate us. So there's a lot of religions out there, and they all have different beliefs and different varying degrees of extremity. But at the same time, most of us, people can be connected to a lot of different things in life. Religion is just one of those things. And people get connected to those things because we're human. We have emotions. We want community. We want a way to understand the world around us. Those are the things that make us this way. So if we focus on the fact that we all have this common need to find connection and meaning in things, then we can be more respectful towards each other about... Oh, can I go in here? No. Then we can be more respectful towards each other about what that really means, you know? And how we treat one another in those scenarios. Because I think... Oops! Because I think that's the problem. I think the problem is we often forget that we're all doing these things because we're looking for meaning, we're looking for connection, we're looking for community. We're trying to make sense of this world, and we can make sense of this world without causing each other harm if we just learn to accept that we're all trying to meet these needs in different ways. You might not agree with one person's way of meeting that need, you know, if they're religious or they do something you don't agree with or whatever, but that's just their way, and that's okay, as long as people aren't crossing a line. And to me, crossing a line is when you start to take away people's rights, or you harm others and hurt other people. Obviously, if you're doing those things, you're taking things a little too far, but... Where are these other cards? But before that, and like, we're just people who have needs that need to be met. And we all just satisfy those needs in different ways. Why should we demonize that? That's something for us to connect on and like really appreciate about one another, you know? At the end of the day, we're all humans and we all have these needs. We just go about it in different ways. So we should be able to find a way to respectfully... I don't think there's anything over there. We should be able to find a way to respectfully agree or disagree when we need to. Respectfully make compromises when we need to. As long as we're not taking it too far. And I think all humans, when they're in their right mind, are able to differentiate when it's too far or not, you know? Some people might be like, oh, it's not, you can't differentiate that, or it's not that easy to tell. But to me, it's pretty easy to tell. It's very... I mean, I can't say it's easy. We're always going to have conflict about how much is too far. And when it comes to religion... Oh, no. No! I guess I wasn't supposed to do that. When it comes to religion, I feel like... Oh, wow, the bolt actually teleported. Ooh. Well, let me try something then. Maybe there's more with the bolt I can do. Can I take the bolt over here, or not? Like, no. Okay, invisible wall. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try to take the bolt as far as I can and see if there's anything I was missing because I didn't explore enough with the bolt. But, as long as we keep working together and we keep trying to be reasonable about the fact that, we're all humans that need the same things in life, I feel like we should be able to meet common ground, find common ground, and figure out just how much we need to push certain things. You know what I mean? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I just got something. I just thought of something. This might be stupid, but I just thought of something and I want to try it. How do I,
Alley-oop.
No! No!
Here we go. Free airplane rides. Come with me, Mr. Goat.
Wait.
Jeez, this one should switch to diet oats, I think.
Wait, why can't I pick it up?
Goat, float. Alley-oop. Here we go. Free airplane rides.
Okay, never mind. I thought I found the strat. That is not the strat. Wait a minute. Dang it. I thought I found the strat.
Anyone
I
wanna
thought
see my oarsman's
maybe
back?
the game wanted me to
No?
connect, bring all the sheep or whatever the hell those were back to that land, that island here. But yeah, that's clearly not what they wanted, so. Oh no, please. Every time I get stuck on a rock. But yeah, I think that's what we struggle with. We just struggle trying to figure out like what the balance, what's a healthy balance and a limit for things. But once we figure that out, I think this stuff gets so much easier to deal with. I've been there. But, of course, a lot of people, instead of trying to, you know, focus on what we have in common with one another, we often focus on the differences we have, and we tend to demonize each other for the differences that we have. And I think that's what leads to a lot of the conflicts that we see, where, like, some people feel like because they think of it this way, they're better than you, or they're not better than you, or they're lesser than you, and all that stuff. That's what gets us stuck in these constant traps of mistreatment and like having to fight for people's rights and like just
These
people
two,
not
this is
feeling
amazing.
respected for who
Coach
they
was
are
trying
and
to
their
throw it
beliefs.
out, but I knew it was fixable.
With this transmitter, KLOB will finally be on the air.
Pop.
No, K-Lobe.
I see it. I see it.
With music.
Can't leave this card lying around.
Bro, how did I not see that? Okay, how are we doing? Wait, I still have a decent bit of those cards. What the hell? And where's one of those keys? What? What? Wait, are you serious? I thought that was gonna do something. What the frick? Yeah, I don't understand that. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. That is not the right foot. Not the right way.
Cool.
Dre. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
So where are your records?
Well, I only have one right now.
What?
Hey, you gotta start somewhere.
If I find any, I'll bring you up.
I'm counting on it, partner.
I don't
Let's
think
say
that's what
supportive
was
free
supposed to
agent,
happen,
Anyway,
but, you know, it's
our
fine.
fans come for the music, but they stay for the personalities.
Like who?
Like me.
Huh.
And you?
Was there anything else up there? Let me just double check. No! No, Raz, please. Please, Raz! Alright, let me just make sure I didn't miss anything.
Come to Papa.
Oh, I forgot. We gotta do this more, too. Yeah, this isn't working.
Yeah, you don't want to wear something like that for too long.
Oh, that's what it does. Are you serious? Okay, I won't lie. When you find it the other way, it's so awkward. It seems so pointless. I gotta find that philosopher again. I keep trying to look for her. Like, she was like the philosopher that I picked for like one of my finals in one of my philosophy classes. And I really liked that mentality because I feel like that's my approach to a lot of things in life, where it's like I accept that we're all different from each other in the various ways that we can be different. I just think we need to go about it how we treat one another for these differences about a different way, you know? Because a lot of the times we're just being so pessimistic, we're being so negative towards each other. We're not really helping, you know? Okay, I remember doing this, but I can't remember if I got everything from here. What the? Wait, what the frick? Yo, I actually recognize that name. It might have been. How did you find that? Dude, she wrote something that has like commonality in the name, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, if that is her, is there no way to go over there? But yeah, that's what I did for like one of my finals for one of my philosophy classes, and I really loved the book. I thought it was very well thought out and kind of similar to the way I think about society and life. Okay, now I'm wondering if, yes, I'm up here, but is there anything down here? I don't remember the name of the book. It just had something with commonality in there. The human condition, something like that. Basically what I'm saying is my memory sucks. But I always knew that I would want to go back and read some of that, so I really probably should go back and read some of that at some point. What about in here? Does this still count as the same place? Stop, lady. The hi, lady. Hi! Okay, so this guy, he's gone now. But can I explore this area more, maybe? No? No? Okay. That's a no. Alright.
Hi!
Alright, let's try going this way again. See if there's anything over here that I might have missed because of not having certain abilities. Just money? Really? I was hoping for more. I think that's when I realized that my biggest interest is human behavior and how humans work, like learn to live with one another. I think that's like my big interest when it comes to like philosophy and like all that stuff. But that is such a big, broad topic because it involves like psychology, just a technology, a lot of different things, a lot of different concepts. It involves a lot of different concepts all in one. Wait, what? Why is this a thing? Guess we can try this again. I know I saw a lot of places that had fans that I couldn't interact with. I just don't remember where they are right now. Uh-oh. Mistakes were made. Mistakes! The way we interact with each other has a lot to do with... our day-to-day life. So it's something I constantly... Oh, not this place again. No! I swear, Raz. You try to do the same ish as before. Ah! Oh my god, Raz, I can't. You're so... Oh my god. Oh, I did this one already. Oh, I did all of them already. Dang it! I thought there was gonna be more in here. I do remember this. Wait a minute! Y'all see that? Wait a minute, there's something over there. There's an area over there, isn't there? Can I get over there? How do I do it? How do I do it? You see that? How do I zoom in? Can I get over there? I probably can't get over there. No! Chicken. No, my balls. Is there a way to not hit the water there? Come on, bro. That's what I was just saying. Is there some... It looks like there's something over there. Is that an invisible wall? I thought maybe I can jump on this surface right here. Is that like just not gonna happen? What the hell was that? What the hell? Oh man. I was looking at that hole over there, but maybe I can't reach it. Like, you see that hole? I'm assuming I can't reach that, right? Yeah, I thought I could maybe get to that, but I don't think I can. And if I can, it's not this way. Probably. I do know I can put these on fire, but I don't know what good that does in this area. But I can try to look. I can try that again. Oh yeah, I remember it brought me up to this stuff, but there's like nothing here aside from there's like an item up here, but that was it. All right, I'm getting about to hit a tired spell, so might have to just take the L and assume that I won't be able to find anything else. For now, I tried to find everything. The frick? Please, game. Okay. Oh no, I've been in here before. Yeah, I think I checked everything in here as well. I don't know. And I think this switches me to that other area, doesn't it? Excuse me. Yep. At least here, I had less to worry about. I had less to collect here. But I still don't know what I'm missing. Ah! You see what I see? Okay, there is no connectivity between where he ends up and what makes logical sense. Note to self. They showed him jump off, right? Somewhere far away from here, I thought. How in the world was I supposed to know that dude was there?
This is Morris Martinez.
That song is pretty cool.
Quit making fun of me.
What the frick? Okay, you see that? He went this way this time. Watch, he's not gonna be anywhere over here. He's gonna be somewhere else entirely. Wait, so I can stream on YouTube now, right? Something that I was curious about doing is what if I like stream like random plays on like playthroughs of stuff like on YouTube sometimes, like when I'm just casually playing something. And like obviously like Twitch is like the more official thing. I was wondering about that, but I don't know. I don't know how annoying it is to stream on YouTube. I remember when I was playing The Last of Us, I kind of did that. Okay, I'm trying to think of where this brother could possibly go to, right? Because I thought I checked, like, almost every goddamn location. Oh my god, we can do that other thing now. Remember the thing? Oh god, that was not. I didn't mean all that, y'all. Sorry. Yeah, the waterfall thing.
There we go. Now, I mean, in their defense, they are not called fasting builders.
Says this every time.
Here we go.
Oh, wait a minute. Did I turn it? Okay, wait. Try to text to speech again. I turned it down last time. Maybe that's why.
Funicular.
Oh no, I don't know. It looks like it's just not working. Weird.
Goat's so slippery.
Do you see people stream as a mod in the viewer list?
I need to bring an animal to my mentor. Even though that sounds creepy.
Wrong ability. Oh, okay. Then I don't know then. Oh, I slowed the wrong one. Oh my god, I didn't know this place was this big. I thought it was gonna be like a little small area. The rest of the stuff's probably in here. Oh my god, isn't this place like pretty? Man, this place looks good. Well, here we go. Although, I think I'm still missing a... Wait. No, in this area, that was the last one, I think. Not that. Yeah, that was the last supply chest. Now it's just a side challenge marker, and that better be up in here, baby! You know, you're probably right about that. I didn't know this place was going to be that big. I thought this was just going to be like a little small area that just had the fungus I was supposed to get. But this actually seems like a whole huge area. Wait a minute. Did I get the fungus? I'm not missing something in here, right? Oh, I did miss it. Oh my god.
Lily's very special fungus. I'll just bring a little bit back first. Hope this helps her treat her dad.
I did not see anything that said to grab that, but I knew, like, if that is the exit, like, it's a slide, so I couldn't come back. Yeah, this is it. This is that exit I was trying to climb into over and over again and couldn't. I was like, why can't I get in there?
Yep.
I just thought of something. I just thought of something that I can do now because I can do it. Okay, now I just realized something. It might be worth it to upgrade this a bit more. Time bubble affects the large area and the single area, increases the duration. That might be really helpful. I still don't know if I really need that mental block. I don't even know what that means. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I think we're just gonna get this. So now the time bubbles are a little bit bigger. That might help with things like this. Duration would be nice too. There we go.
Lumberjack rumble.
Awesome! Is that the only thing here, though? How many of those scavenger hunt things did I actually get? Like, I feel like I've gotten a lot. Wow, 8 out of 16? Yeah, I thought I was doing way better than that. I hope that I haven't missed, like, a whole bunch. But I was trying to get this one for the longest time, and I remember I knew that I would probably have to slow down that wheel to do it, so now we got that. Now the question is, what next?
Haunted water wheel? Round and round it goes. What makes it go, nobody knows. It's water, dummies. Geez, this place is a ripoff.
Wow. Now, can I find... The real question over here is, can I find... I did not mean to do that, my bad. You know what?
Did you know I could do this?
Hi, Nona.
Oh, hello, my sweet little turnip. Well,
Okay, I
gotta go
thought
back
maybe
to
I
my
can
spy
slow
stuff.
down something to make the grandmother see
Don't
that,
forget
but
beacon
never
him.
mind. That was that was not related. Oh, I also wanted to put this here.
Throw that one, sweetie.
I did not mean to just jump in the fire. Brother! Are you anywhere? He is. Yes!
I think I know who's broadcasting that station.
Why do you need to take over everything I like?
What are you talking about? Oh, I didn't even realize that was the last one. Awesome. 55! Whoa! I completed it now. Oh, that was a side challenge marker. Oh. Dope. This area took me the longest to finish. I don't know why. Here, I'm only missing a few things in the mother lobe. You know what? I might go back to the mother lobe because I might be able to finish that. Like, I feel like I should be able to do everything in there. I just probably didn't look in the right places. The quarry, I really don't know where that supply chest key is and where those other side challenge cards are. I can't find them for the life of me. So... Wow. Every time I try something to help him not take damage, it just doesn't work, and he just takes even more. Ah! Ah! Alright, so at the very least, I'll go back to the mother lobe because that's where I can finish everything. That's where I can find the last few things, and that's close to where I can continue the story if I give up. But I think I should be able to find things there, you know? Oh, man. Dude. The freaking music made me think something bad was happening. So these people who are flying, that's just what that ability looks like. That's not saying telekinesis, right?
If there are layoffs, maybe I'll get a sweet severance package.
Wait, what? I don't think this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
At least tomorrow's payday.
I feel like clairvoyance is so useless half the time.
Almost had it.
I'll tell you that twice.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Nice hair. That was my old hair.
Can't believe I'm hungry again already.
What is the point of this? That booty though. I'm just kidding. All right. I don't know what the point to that is.
People might think this thought tuner looks dorky, but I think it's cool. See ya, Thought Tuner.
Honestly, I keep forgetting to use the thought tuner more.
Take care of you when you don't have the mental energy to do
That's
it
probably
yourself.
where the problem lies.
Okay, let's see if there are any stray thoughts around here.
Hey, kid. You didn't take the toilet plunger, did ya?
Why would I take that? The frick? I don't know about y'all, but to me, taking a toilet plunger doesn't seem like a very normal thing to do.
That thing was making my ears hot. Thought Tuner time.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Yeah, you don't want to wear something like that for too long.
Uh-oh. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? Why is it?
Okay, let's see if there are any stray thoughts around here.
Bro. Can it work through walls? If it can work through walls. Can I not get in here?
Got to work. Maddening.
Oh, I just hate to see you like this.
Dude, what? How do I get to that?
That's enough of that.
Nothing.
Well, this has been fun, but it's getting late, and I should probably go.
Can I not go back into the storage room?
Thought Tuner time.
Bro, what the hell? Okay, what the balls, man? I can hear it only when I'm at this wall, but there's no way to get over there. Maybe I can talk to her to trigger something.
Mia?
Yes, darling.
Are you meditating?
In a way. I'm reaching out to detect ripples in the psychic network around the world.
What are you doing that for?
I'm trying to find the illusionist activity around the world and report it to Agent Forsyth down in the nerve center.
Ripples?
Yo, what's up, Penguin? How you doing?
Like Maligula carries heavy emotional baggage for many people. It's like a large stone dropped in a pond. Ripples spread out, bounce off each other. If you know how to read the patterns, they can lead you to the source.
Can I ask you about the Psychic Six?
Of course, Rasputin.
Are any of them still around?
Oh, yes. Besides Ford, you know.
Glad
there's
to hear it, glad to
Otto
hear
out
it.
in his workshop, still tinkering with his gadgets. Sasha is his #1 customer. Dogenbull's grandfather, Compton, is here as well, but he keeps to himself. The other survivors have gone their own ways, unfortunately.
What happened to Helmet Fullbear?
Oh, that poor soul was lost in the Battle of Grulovia. I wish I could have met him. He seemed to have such a love of life and color.
Did you ever meet Cassiopeia?
No, but I read her book, Mindswarm. Very inspiring. I'm actually using some of her multitasking techniques right now, talking to you while I work.
Did you ever work with Lily's great-uncle, Bob Zanotto?
Oh, yes, poor Bob. He lost so much in the battle. It really took a toll on him. I know it was very difficult for Truman to let him go, but it was getting dangerous. Oh, what that poor
I
family
could not
has
guess.
endured.
Went out somewhere?
Enough about those guys.
Yes, let's talk about us.
Have you talked to Sasha lately?
Sasha and I are always talking. Oh, he says hello.
Look, I'm not good at guessing. Whip does the same thing, and I literally don't know how to do that, bro. Okay. Oh, wait, because... Wait, never mind. So I was right, kinda? Ish? Okay, how'd the date go?
What do you think about those casino papers, Mia?
Well, they were very disturbing, I'll say that. Dripping with resentment and a fishy smell.
That's the caviar. Are you worried about Truman?
And none of these
To
gonna
be
help me
honest,
get into
I've
that
never
room.
seen him like this before. But he's very tough, and he has his fearless daughter in there now taking care of him.
Are you worried about Maligula?
Well, she died in the Battle of Grulovia, but sometimes the idea of someone is more
Wow, that does
dangerous
sound like
than
it
the
went
person
well.
themselves.
What do you all talk
Her
about?
followers are what scare me. When someone devotes
Obviously, if
their
it isn't
life
too
to a
private.
memory, they're capable of anything.
Well, I'll stop bothering you now.
Never a bother, darling. Ciao.
What I'm trying to figure out is how the hell do I get... There's something here.
People might think this thought tuner looks dorky, but I think it's cool.
Oh, that's cool. Can it be up high?
Yep.
Bruh. Yeah, there's not even a hole in that. So, like, I don't know what the hell. It starts making sounds when you're close to something that will trigger it. Yeah, I thought so too, but like I can't even get over there.
Yeah, you don't want to wear something like that for too long.
Like I can't get in here. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I looked in there already. Okay, well, frick that. Can't find anything there.
Getting closer, I think.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah.
Dang it. I need to activate this thought tuner to make it scan for stray thoughts.
It's just money. You can get money from like picking it up in there, but I get so much money from that, so sometimes I don't do it. All right, let me just keep walking around.
Know what time it is?
Scanning access granted.
Okay, let's see if there are any stray thoughts around here.
Wow, why is it so mean?
Okay, now how do I turn this on again?
No, I'm not paying to fix
thoughts. Stray thoughts.
Yo.
I don't have a key.
Okay. All right. So that was not what I was expecting.
Thought tuner time.
There's gotta be more in here, though, right? Right? No? Really?
Scanning access granted.
People might think this thought tuner looks dorky, but I think it's cool.
See if there's anything in here. Alright, I'm gonna have to stop soon. My neck is starting to be an eye sack. Let me just check in here.
Scanning access granted.
Uh-oh.
Yep. That's enough of that.
Wait, what? Sorry, this looks so funny. I can't believe it let me do that. Oh no.
Whew.
Alright, I think I got a few more areas to check in here, and then I am Dundee for today.
Scanning access.
I'm pretty sure I did this in here, right?
Here, thoughts.
Yeah, but we don't have to tell her about that, bro. Come on. Nothing.
See ya, Thought Tuner. Yep. Yep.
Did I check in here? I feel like I'm missing a part of this
People might
place.
think this Thought Tuner looks dorky, but I think it's cool.
There's no way I looked at every place already, right?
I wonder if the bit...
With this convenient automatic, there is no need to bother me in my lab. I'm busy.
Yeah, that was weird. No Oreos. How do I get to that? Oh, no, that's this way. Yeah.
Okay, let's see if there are any stray thoughts around here.
My name is Otto Alice.
My name is Otto.
This vending machine because I built it.
Thought Tuner time.
Welcome back.
Wait, what the?
That thing was making my ears hot. Oh! Don't be shy, little thoughts. There's a narrow slot, but I don't think I can fit through it.
I really want to know what that other power is going to be. Because he says that, and like, how was that even a thing?
It's locked. It's locked.
Oh, I can't do anything with it? Frick you.
That's enough of that.
Okay, nothing in here.
Dream fluffs. Get your dream fluffs right here at the automatic.
This, we can try her room and then the classroom, and that's all I got.
But I think it's cool.
You gotta stop repeating yourself, Raz. Nothing? Really?
I'm sure you're a powerful psychic, but wouldn't
all
you
right,
like
we're
to
not
be a
finding
little,
nothing.
Extra.
I'm gonna save in front of the astro lanes,
Sup, little
and
guy?
then we will continue from there next time. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. All right, how do I make sure it saves? I think it saves when I go through here, right? Yeah. Out of curiosity.
I think it's telling me.
Nope. All right, then I gotta stop because my back hurting. My back. Why is like no one in here?
What an amazing couple we would have been.
Hi, kid.
No radios in here, kid. No radios in here, kid.
What do you mean? Who's saying that?
No radios in here, kid. No radios in here, kid.
What?
No radios in
Are
here.
you
kid.
playing with the remote control car, little boy?
No
Ooh,
radios in
Are
here,
you
kid.
playing with the remote control car, little boy?
Not now, kid. Busy. No
Ooh,
radios in
Are
here,
you
kid.
playing with the remote control car, little boy?
See ya, Thought Tuner.
Alrighty. Yep, I don't know. I don't find nothing. I didn't find nothing else in the booty eye. How much do I have left? Just out of curiosity, just to see, just to look in the booty eye. It's a chest inside. It might be in this area. Who knows? Who knows? Either way, I am done for today. That was fun. We played video games. That was great. Everything is fantastic. I'm tired as hell. This game is still awesome. Okay, now I gotta see. Should I raid or should I just end? I'm so tired again. I'm getting hit with another tired spell. It sucks so bad. Oh, never mind. My Chrome isn't even loading properly.